Hello students, today we are going to discuss about our Indian constitution, what was the situation of India at that time when the constitution was made, and what was the difficulties in front of the constitution makers. We can say Constituent Assembly. So making of the Indian constitution. Like South Africa, India's constitution was also drawn up under very difficult circumstances. The making of the constitution for a huge and diverse country like India was not an easy affair. At that time, the people of India were emerging from the status of subjects to that of citizens. The country was born through a partition on the basis of religious differences. This was a traumatic experience for the people of India and Pakistan. So, making a constitution for such a huge country like India, it was not an easy thing. There are different languages spoken in India. There are different uh, people of different castes live here, and they follow different religions. So it was not easy to draw a constitution for such a vast country. We all know that there was a big partition in 1947, Pakistan and India. Pakistan is based on religious concepts, while India is a secular country. So, India has very smartly adopted the idea of secularism. Secularism means there is no state religion in India. So, Muslims, they wanted a separate country for them. It was named Pakistan. So, it was not peaceful at that time, and there was really chaos in the society. At that time there were princely states where kings ruled their kingdom, and now after uh, being free and independent, there was a need of the constitution, and it was not easy to make. And now they were not people were not subjects that the king was ruling them. Now they had become citizens. So at least 10 lakh people were killed on both sides of the border in partition related violence. There was another problem. The British had left it to the rulers of the princely states to decide whether they wanted to merge with India or with Pakistan or remain independent. The merger of these princely states was a difficult and uncertain task. So, I told you that it was not peaceful at that time, and this really led to a chaos, and about 10 lakh people were killed because of this religious separation when India and Pakistan were made. And moreover, there was a problem in front of the Britishers that they left it to the kings of the states to decide whether they want to be with India or with Pakistan, and or they want to remain independent. Yes, it was very difficult task. So when the constitution was being written, the future of the country did not look as secure as it does today. The makers of the constitution had anxieties about the present and the future of the country. The Part 2 Constitution. Despite all these difficulties, there was one big advantage for the makers of Indian constitution. Unlike South Africa, they did not have to create a consensus about what a democratic India should look like. Much of this consensus had evolved during the freedom struggle. Our national movement was not merely a struggle against a foreign rule, it was also a struggle to rejuvenate our country and to transform our society and politics. So the constitution makers they faced difficulty because of the separation of India and Pakistan, and in South Africa they had to create a public opinion about their country, but in India this problem was not there because in 1928 Motilal Nehru and 8 other members they tried to draft the constitution. So much of the public opinion had been developed during the time of freedom struggle. Our national movement, Indian national movement, it was not only a struggle against a foreign rule against the Britishers, it was also a struggle which gave strength to our country and changed our society. There were sharp differences of opinion within the freedom struggle about the path India should take after independence. Such differences exist even today, yet some basic ideas had come to be accepted by almost everyone. So, there were some basic ideas which all the people accepted. As far back as in 1928, Motilal Nehru and 8 other Congress leaders they drafted a constitution for India. In 1931, the resolution at the Karachi session of the Indian National Congress dwelt on how independent India's constitution should look like. So, in the process of constitution making, Motilal Nehru and 8 other members they in they in 1928 they made little efforts to make the constitution to draft the constitution, and earlier Karachi was the part of India. So in 1931 the resolution at the Karachi session they also thought about it how independent India's constitution should look like. So both these documents were committed to the inclusion of universal adult franchise, right to freedom and equality, and to protecting the rights of minorities in the constitution of independent India. Thus some basic values were accepted by all leaders much before the Constituent Assembly met to deliberate on the constitution. The Constituent Assembly who made the constitution, the members of Constituent Assembly made the constitution. When they started discussing about the constitution, before that Motilal Nehru and 8 members in 1928 they made little efforts to draft the constitution, and after that at the Karachi session efforts were made to write in the constitution, and both these documents 1928 and 1931 these were these included universal adult franchise. You all know what is universal adult franchise, that 18 years of persons have right to vote. A person who has got the age of 18 years has right to vote. So they included, both these documents included three things. What were these three things? Universal adult franchise, right to freedom and equality, and protecting the rights of minority. So these were the basic values which were accepted by all the leaders, and after that Constituent Assembly they started their discussions. The familiarity with political institution of colonial rule also helped develop an agreement over the institutional design. The British rule had given voting rights only to a few, On that basis, the British had introduced very weak legislatures. Elections were held in 1937 to provincial legislatures and the ministries all over British India. These were not fully democratic governments, but the experience gained by Indians in the working of the legislative institutions proved to be very useful for the country in setting up its own institutions. So, Indian leaders, they got experience from the British rule had given voting rights only to few persons, and that's why the legislatures, the law making bodies were very weak. In 1937 also there were elections of provincial legislatures. You know that provincial legislatures means there were state legislative assemblies and ministries all over British India before independence. Now, these were not fully, we can't say that these were fully democratic governments, but at least the experience which Indians gained in the working of legislative institutions, this was very useful for the country when the new setup was done in India. That's why the Indian Constitution adopted many institutional details and procedures from colonial laws like the Government of India Act 1935. So, the Indian Constitution adopted many procedures which were being followed by other countries, like the Government of India Act in 1935. Years of thinking and deliberation on the framework of the Constitution had another benefit. Our leaders gained confidence to learn from other countries but on our own terms. Many of our leaders were inspired by the ideals of French Revolution, the practice of parliamentary democracy in Britain, and the Bills of Rights in the US. Yes, it took almost 3 years to make the constitution. 3 years were devoted for the discussion on the constitution. Only then this constitution could be made. So this was very beneficial for India because our leaders, they gained confidence. They learned from other countries, and many of the leaders were inspired by the ideals of French Revolution. So what did they learn? They learned, India adopted the principle of liberty, freedom, and justice from the French Constitution. फ्रेंच कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से उन्होंने क्या अडॉप्ट किया? प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ लिबर्टी, फ्रीडम एंड जस्टिस, and the practice of parliamentary democracy in Britain. The practice of parliamentary form of democracy has been adopted from Great Britain, and the Bills of Rights in the US, and we have adopted Bill of Rights from the United States of America. The socialist revolution in Russia has inspired many Indians to think of shaping a system based on social and economic equality. The socialist revolution, the French Revolution in Russia, the socialist revolution in Russia had inspired many Indians. The Indians were inspired by Russia also, because now they could think of shaping the system which will be based on social and economic equality. Means, what does social and economic equality mean? Which means socially and economically everyone should be equal. and yet they were not simply imitating what others had done. At each step, they were questioning whether these things suited our country. All these factors contributed to the making of our constitution. Our leaders very intelligently adopted the good points of the constitution of other countries. They simply did not imitate the others, but they thought in terms of that what will be beneficial for their country, whether those things suited our country. Only then the things were adopted from other constitutions. All these factors contributed and to the making of Indian constitution. The Constituent Assembly. Now we will read about the Constituent Assembly, who then were the makers of the Indian constitution. You will find here very brief sketch of some of the leaders who played an important role in making of constitution. We will come to know about the members of Constituent Assembly. The drafting of the document called the Constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly. What is Constituent Assembly? This is an assembly of elected representatives who made the Constitution. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. Its first meeting was held in December 1946, soon after the country was divided into India and Pakistan. So, when were the elections to the Constituent Assembly were held? These were held in July 1946 and their first meeting was held in December 1946. And soon after this, the country was divided and India became free and independent. The Constituent Assembly was also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and that of Pakistan. Now, Constituent Assembly was also divided. There was Constituent Assembly of India and there was Constituent Assembly of Pakistan as well. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members. How many members were there in Constituent Assembly? 299. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26 November 1949, but it came into effect on 26 January 1950. When did the Indian Constitution come into effect? When was it implemented? On 26 January 1950. The Assembly adopted it on 26 November 1949, but it came into effect on 26 January, that is 2 months after 2 months. To mark this day, we celebrate January 26 as Republic Day every year. And we celebrate 26 January as Republic Day. On this day, Indian Constitution came into effect. Why should we accept the constitution made by this assembly more than 6 decades ago? We have already noted one reason above. The constitution does not reflect the views of its members alone, it expresses a broad consensus of its time. Many countries of the world have had to rewrite their constitution afresh because the basic rules were not acceptable to all major social groups or political parties. Now the question arises: that our constitution, which had been made about more than 60 years ago, 6 decades. So why should we accept the constitution even now? The constitution does not show only the views of its members. Rather, it shows a broad consensus. Consensus means public opinion of its time. There are many countries of the world which had to rewrite their constitution again because the basic rules which were written in those constitutions were not acceptable were not accepted by all major social groups. In some other countries, the constitution exists as a mere piece of paper, no one actually follows it. The experience of our constitution is different. Over the last half a century, several groups have questioned some provisions of the constitution, but no large social group or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of the constitution itself. This is an unusual achievement for any constitution. Our Indian constitution has an unusual achievement. In what sense? Because in other constitutions, in other countries, constitution was only a piece of paper and no one followed it. But in Indian constitution, though there were many groups who have questioned some provisions of the constitution, but there is not even a single political party or group who which has ever questioned the lawfulness of our constitution. It is quite legal, so no one has questioned the legality of our Indian constitution. The second reason, this is the first reason why we should accept the constitution even after 60, even after more than 60 years. The second reason for accepting the constitution is that the Constituent Assembly represented the people of India. There was no universal adult franchise at that time, so the Constituent Assembly could not have been chosen directly by all the people of India. Yes, the second reason why we should accept the constitution even today is that the Constituent Assembly, that there were people of India, there were members, the members of Constituent Assembly were from all the parts of India. Constituent Assembly represented people of India. There was no universal adult franchise at that time. At that time, universal adult franchise was not there, so we could not have direct elections to Constituent Assembly. It was elected mainly by the members of the existing provincial legislatures that we mentioned above. I had told you that before independence, there were elections for provincial legislatures, for the state legislative assemblies in 1937. So these members of Constituent Assembly were elected by the members of the state legislatures. This ensured a fair geographical share of members from all the regions of the country. So these were provincial legislatures. That means all the states of India represented Constituent Assembly, because these members of provincial legislatures, they elected the members of Constituent Assembly. That means Constituent Assembly has the representation from all parts of India. The assembly was dominated by the Indian National Congress, the party that led India's freedom struggle. Mostly the members of Constituent Assembly were from Indian National Congress, and this party led India's freedom struggle. But the Congress itself included a variety of political groups and opinions. The assembly had many members who did not agree with the Congress. There were many members in Congress. There were many members in the assembly who opposed the Congress. In social terms too, the assembly represented members from different language groups, castes, classes, religions, and occupations. There were members from almost all the states in Constituent Assembly. in provincial legislatures, the members of provincial legislatures, they had taken part in the election of the members of constituent assembly. So these members of provincial legislatures, yeah, state legislatures, these were from different language groups, they were of different castes, they had different religions, occupations. Even if the Constituent Assembly was elected by universal adult franchise, its composition would not have been very different. If there had been universal adult franchise at that time, even then the composition of Constituent Assembly would have been the same. It would not have been different. Finally, the manner in which the Constituent Assembly worked gives sanctity to the Constitution. The Constituent Assembly worked in a systematic, open, and consensual manner. And one reason why we should accept the Constitution, which was made more than 60 years ago, it is also that the Constituent Assembly worked in a very systematic and consensual. Consensual means keeping in view the public opinion. So they worked in a very systematic way. And first, some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. First of all, they decided some basic principles and all members agreed upon them. Then a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a draft constitution for discussion. Who was the chairman of the drafting committee? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Bhim Rao Ambedkar. So he prepared a draft constitution, the draft of the constitution for discussion. Several rounds of thorough discussions took place on the draft constitution clause by clause. Means they considered every clause of the constitution and there were several rounds of discussion. More than 2000 amendments were considered. What is amendment? Any change in the constitution. So more than 2000 amendments changes were considered. The members deliberated for 114 days spread over 3 years. I told you that it took 3 years to make the Constitution of India. So the members held discussions for 114 days during these 3 years. Every document presented and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. Every document which was presented during the meetings, during the discussions, and every word which was spoken by Constituent Assembly has been recorded, and these are called Constituent Assembly debates. And what are these documents called? These are called Constituent Assembly debates. When printed, these debates are 12 bulky volumes. When these were printed, there were 12 big size volumes of these discussions, of these documents. These debates provide the rationale behind every provision of the constitution. Every provision of the constitution has been discussed in these debates.